Now there's a nice noise. So in other videos I've described how we basically turned our entire garden into a giant wicking bed. The backyard, the little conventional garden and lawn, we dug trenches where we wanted the pathways to be, and then we filled it full of sticks, built the boardwalk over top, covered it over top with wood chips. And this is what it looked like at the end of that first season. And this is a good illustration of that, just to make it a little clearer, is here's the trench that's been dug now, and this is where the overflow from the roof will be coming onto. And you know, obviously this is just to the top of the boards, and there's even further depth here underneath. But if you look, you know, we've got our tomatoes and etc. conventional stuff growing here, but that's all going to be encouraged to send its roots all the way down into this to get nutrients and water, and that makes it incredibly drought resistant. The plants will grow their roots deeper, which means they're less likely to need watering by us, which means less maintenance. And that's the amazing thing I think about all of this, is that this is purely passive. The water hits the roof and we do nothing. It fills the tank. Once the tank is full, it itself decides to overflow into the pipe, and then the pipe delivers it to the garden, and then the plants decide how much water they want to take up or not. And it's all just sitting here waiting for them. Like, what a beautiful system. So here we are digging into the trails, and you can see right at the top, it's the unbroken down wood chips. And then we don't have to get very far until we get to these really moist wood chips. And we don't have to get very far until we get to broken down wood chips. It's just this beautiful, super high in organic matter soil. And then once we get deep enough, we hit the actual boardwalk still from underneath. So I don't know what that is. It's about this deep of wood chips now, of soil now. Yeah, and there we go. You can see there's some roots going through there. There's been a few worms. So just beautiful, beautiful water battery. So now we'll dig this out the remainder of the way down the trail. Okay, so scraping away some of the wood chips because we're going to replace them after the trench has been dug. But you can see here all this mycelium just underneath the topmost layer of wood chips. This is actually the one of our edible Kingstropharia wine cap mushroom beds. And you can see it's actually held the wood chips together more. But I mean, really, the entire wood chip bed is filled with mycelium and woven together by it. I'm going to show that by coming right over here. So I got this full 5-gallon pail of water. Let's see how erosion proof this is. Not much, right? And yet that water is able to percolate in a matter of seconds, and we hit that top, just underneath this tiny little top layer of the wood chips is that mat of mycelial woven together wood chips. It's difficult to even get my fingers in there with the gloves. Yeah, and so that's how resilient this is to big downpours, and yet it's so completely porous to allow 5 gallons of water to go through in a matter of seconds. Here's another thought too, is that as we're digging this trench, I mean, look at the beautiful soil profile there from the top of the trail down to the bottom, deeper. This stuff would be perfect for establishing a new raised bed. So we're going to be doing that in the next few years in a couple of places up front. And so instead of paying so much for soil, and which has peat mixed in with it, which has ecological consequences and all of that kind of stuff, instead we can just dig up a bunch of this, throw that into the raised bed as the majority of the material, and get the wood mulch instead, which is cheaper and then restores the fertility and the integrity of the trail again. Hey, so here we are. We've scraped down to the original boardwalk, which was installed 12 years ago. In 2012. So yeah, and here's the same original boards. Amazing that they haven't rotted more than they have, but yeah. So we've dug all the way down. That's interesting to see them after all that time. Okay, so you can see there's all these roots in the trail. And what I've been noticing now is while digging this up, listen to this beautiful noise. In another video, I was talking about how I suspected that these wood chip trails were creating living bridges, that was creating the structural integrity, that these old boards weren't actually weight bearing. So listen to this. And you can hear all of that matrix of interconnection breaking apart. How cool is that? Bit of a job, but we got it now underneath of the shed. And we'll take it from here back to the rain barrels over there.